Welcome back to the post lunch session, wherein we have an important guest from the corporate world to be inspiring and guiding you. Mr. Ashish Gupta, partner, Grant Thornton India LLP. For all of you, Grant Thornton is one of the largest accounting and financial advisory firms. Mr. Ashish comes with over 18 years of experience in risk consulting and business process transformation. He specializes in enterprise risk management, internal audit, operating process transformation, SOP development, and internal financial controls. He has a proven record of partnering with audit committees to strengthen governance and control environment of companies in India, UK, Middle East, Africa, and the US. He has traveled extensively across sectors, including food and beverages, FMCG, consumer electronics, etc. He has transformed the risk function of various large Indian as well as multinational companies. He has guided over 1,000 clients nationally in their IFC journey and has led execution of risk management function at large companies. Prior to GT, Ashish was practice lead North India for one of the global audit firm and has handled leadership positions in Big Four. Before I request my guest to be uh, addressing our students, I would like to request all our students to be typing in their questions in the QA link, and we would request our guests to take up these at the end of the talk. We welcome you, Mr. Ashish. It's a pleasure to have you with us. Over to you, sir.
Thanks, Professor Sangeeta, and it's really indeed my pleasure to be, part of the forum today. So I'm excited to share my learning here, and in last almost 2 decades of experience into the risk management, I realized that a lot of people, do not understand, the basics of risk management. So today I will be very brief and introducing the concept of risk management, to you, and I'm sure you will enjoy this concept like any other subject of yours, and you will cherish these discussions even after spending few decades in your domain of work, whether you start your own company, whether you become part of any large company or a medium sized company. It doesn't matter. you know uh, One of the critical thing in the risk management, it applies to every one of us, and I will introduce two concepts here. First is that what is risk management broadly, right? What do we understand from the risk management, and why it is important, right? So let me just pick up the first part, and I will give a very very layman example for the sake of understanding the concept in a very simple manner. I'm sure a lot of you are driving your vehicles, by your own, since you have already reached to that age. And if some of you are not driving, your parents must be driving a vehicle. Every vehicle has an insurance attached to it. Have you thought about that? Why every car is insured? Why? Think about it for 10 seconds. Think about it. And let me tell you, there is a law behind it. It is not left to my choice or your choice. There is a law which mandates every citizen of India to buy an insurance policy. Now let me, take you back, behind, why this policy was formed. Now, as per the government, a lot of people were not protecting themselves from the risk. What is the risk if you are having a car without an insurance, apart from very common risk, which I'm sure a lot of you can relate to, that traffic policeman can, give a challan to you, right? Apart from that, what is the risk? What is the big picture if you do not have an insurance? The big picture is that probably your car may get stolen, you know, or you know, unfortunately, if let's say somebody hit your car, it can be a big cost to repair that car. or to repair somebody else's car if somebody files a suit against, let's say, a person. We look at, the global practices as well when we recommend any control environment or any, let's say, suitable solution. Just to give a perspective, I work with companies like Bata. I work with companies like Oyo Rooms. I work with companies like, Radico Khitan. Some of these names may be alien to you, but Bata is a well-known name. Similarly, there are a lot of other names, which I'm working with. Sundrop Oil, I'm sure a lot of you may be using Sundrop Oil. A lot of you may be using Dabur products. A lot of you may I'm sure, may be using Dettol or other products which are being provided by FMCG companies. All these companies has one thing in common. What is that one thing? They are managing their risk, in a very optimum, very good manner. And let me again go back to what is risk management all about. Just imagine a person, let's say he is driving a vehicle without a seat belt, right? Without a car insurance, without a car which is probably serviced maybe a year back. What could go wrong? Think about it. And this is a very common example, which is easily to understand, right? The brakes may not work, the car may not work in an optimum manner. You may not be able to reach your destination on time. And that's exactly what can happen with large companies. Think about a listed company which can which is chasing a turnover, let's say, which is trying to grow by 100% in 3 years. There can be 100 of things which can, stop the company to achieve that growth. There can be frauds in the company, financial frauds, operational frauds. There can be cyber attacks. Just imagine a situation where you're not wearing a mask. Thankfully, I'm sitting in my home as of now, so I'm not wearing a mask. But if you are at a public place today, and if you're not wearing a mask, possibly you may be fined for not wearing a mask in a particular state. So why is that? Because the government is trying to set up a control to protect the risk of, let's say, COVID-19 to spread. And this is the similar thing which companies are also doing. Now just imagine a company, let's say Maruti for that matter, right? Maruti is operating their plant from last almost 8 weeks now, since the lockdown got open. And now Maruti is housing thousands of workers in their factory. I'm not sure whether you tracked or not, but Bajaj Auto opened their factories within 4 weeks time. There were hundreds of workers which were found positive, corona positive, right? So now just imagine, what will the company do? Now company need to institutionalize a process by which they screen the workers before they enter the premises. Now this may sound very logical, very commonsensical, but please, take my words, common sense is not found very commonly. There are so many big companies which are struggling, to solve various complex problems. Now, I will give you another example. I'm working with one of the large company, which is a listed company, which is having operations in more than 25 states. There are company level, compliances, which are, obviously, which can be tweaked. There are state level requirements or regulations which company need to ensure that they are following it. There are country level compliances which need to be followed. Now think about, a company which is running an operations into multiple geographies. They will not be aware about, the compliance requirements. They may not be aware about the IT risk, which which can impact their operations. I'm sure, in newspapers, you may be reading news about bitcoins, maybe about, some companies daily there is news on the Twitter accounts, were hacked. Now, just imagine the kind of loss which company has to suffer. And that brings me to the second, introduction, which is why this is important. You know, if let's say there is a company which is not managing the risk well, what can go wrong? What can happen? We have seen in the last almost 2 decades companies like Kingfisher, companies like Unitech, companies like ILFS, they all have one thing in common. And that one thing is that they did not invested, or they did not give importance to the risk management function. And now Indian government has recognized the importance of managing the risk. So now, as per Companies Act 2013, the companies need to mandatorily, have internal audit function. Now there are thresholds which are defined, by the government, and a lot of things have been kept on the discretion of the company, but the framework is evolving. I'm pleased to, let you know that our government is also thinking about the risk management. Just imagine a company which is not thinking about bankruptcy. What is bankruptcy? I'm sure, some of you may be familiar with the bankruptcy, but just to provide more insight on bankruptcy, it is like that, somebody who cannot fulfill, any financial obligations. You do not have money, you cannot pay any bill. That's called bankruptcy. Now, why government is thinking about it? Why it is thinking about it? Because they are bankrupt. They cannot fund their own, meal or living expenses. They cannot maintain themselves. Government is thinking about these things because they have realized that in the past, a lot of people who have ignored, let's say, the early warnings. I'm sure, let me give you another example. I'm sure you must be able to relate it. By this age, I'm sure you all have bank accounts. The moment there is a, any transaction which happens in your bank account, you must have, received the alert. Oh, 5,000 debited, from the bank and paid to so and so vendor, right? I'm sure 99% of you, may not have found that there is any debit which has come, or alert which has come erroneously, in your account. But I'm sure some of you may have experienced, oh, this transaction do not belong to me. Then you may need to report it to the bank. Now banks are doing wonderful task in terms of protecting all their, account holders. They are doing a lot of preventive checks. So for example, they are aware that, you know let's say, going by the history of your transactions, you belong to a, let's say, a New Delhi, you belong to Gurgaon, you belong to, let's say, other parts of NCR or outside NCR. They know that, okay, this person will not swipe the card in Dubai unless, you are informing your bank that, okay, I'm going to Dubai and I'll probably swipe the card, or you are having an international debit card or a credit card. But the banks are protecting the account holders to that extent that, if anybody try to swipe your card, you know um, from different location like Nigeria or Australia or India or Pakistan, they will not allow you to swipe the card. From the financial loss. I have seen cases in my experience where the license to operate the business was taken away by the company, by the government from the company. Why? Because they flouted the regulatory norms. Now there are, I would say, zero tolerance on regulatory you to your own body, right? So just to summarize, our discussion again, risk management is very critical aspect. I'm sure all of you want to make money, and one of the formula of making money without going to jail is manage your risk very well, because the white collar crimes are going up, and you need to ensure that you are thinking in a right direction irrespective of which domain you are choosing. Again, I am saying this is applicable on 100% all of you, including me and the management. So please give importance to this particular aspect. You all are following some basic principles of risk management, but please, develop more understanding about, these domains before you get into any venture. With that, I will summarize the discussion, and I'm happy to take any questions at this point in time.
So, Mr. Ashish, if you could also elaborate to the students about the current risk environment of various 2, 3 important sectors in India, that would help them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all companies, and I'm attending a lot of board meetings these days. All board members are talking about few things, which first is that what is the business continuity plan? When I say business continuity plan, it means that just in case if anything goes wrong with, let's say, one person in the factory, which can be a factory head, who will be the next in charge? It can be called as a succession planning. But in the business continuity planning, it is very important that we think all the major pillars which can impact the going concern. Going concern means that the company may not open their office tomorrow. Now, what can lead to that? There can be a possibility that, we are talking through technology. Just imagine a situation, there are close to 200 plus people who are connected here. Just imagine if the technology do not work, what will happen? We will be stalled. Our life, which was running from last 4 months because of technology, it will get stalled. Now there are companies which have moved their servers from physical location on a cloud based model, right? So companies are thinking, the board members, the promoters are thinking that how can we make sure that our company runs, the business each should run. So they are thinking about IT, related upgradations. A lot of things were physical in nature. They are going digital about it. A lot of things they are thinking about, that can we sell online? They were not having, a lot of companies were not having online presence. They were not selling online. Obviously, through selling through them, they take about 30 or 40%. Now, think about a company which is having only a presence in the physical manner. They have retail stores. Working with one of the listed companies. Now here Corona comes, and they said that we can't survive if we cannot sell online, and they are doing very well. Over to you.
So, your voice is breaking up a little. Yeah, Professor Sangeeta, I think we could request Professor Bhumika now, and she would
Yes.
ask a few questions, and then I'll pitch in. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So may I invite Professor Bhumika? Director General and who heads our placement cell as well. She will please come forward and take the interaction forward. Thank you, ma'am.
Hi, Ashish.
Hi, Professor Bhumika.
Ashish, some students have been asking that you just mentioned about white collar crimes. So I think it's a new term for them. If you could just explain a little as to what white collar crimes are, and if you could give a few examples, I think it'd be easier for them to understand and take the discussion forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me, again, as a layman, make people understand that a lot of people believe that, the thefts are happening because people do not have money and being done by the poor section of the community. I think, because when we look at, the quantum and the value of frauds, which has happened in the last 10 years, you will realize that the fraud has been done by the largest of the frauds has been done by people who are highly educated, who are who were taking fat salaries, big salaries, who were having plenty of money. I will name one gentleman, Mr. Rajat Gupta, again a very respected person, but again, just because of one bad, incident, he was part of one of the insider trading. I'm sure insider trading may be another, new word to all of you, but he was part of one of the fraud, and he was sentenced, for some years in jail in US, and he was one of the best paid bankers, head of the bank. Now that is called white collar crime, that when the crime is committed by somebody who is well educated but lacks, integrity, ethics, or maybe greed, right? All because of all that. There can be different root causes, and again we can talk about, in a separate session. It's a long topic.
Right. Mr. Ashish, could you elaborate the steps that one should take to be in the risk management profession if students were to make a career in that field?
Yes. So companies like Grant Thornton, we take people who are certified internal auditor from US. Again, there is a dedicated course which you can get into after graduation. That's one option. Even if you are in a domain like, you chose to, let's say, do your MBA, or you choose to become a CA, you choose to become, I would say, economic honors person, you may get an entry in any of the large firm as a intern, and you try and test your, skills there, because this is a very interesting domain, let me tell you. And I've been looking at this domain from last almost 18 years, and this is very exciting because you meet, uh, throughout the company, you meet the board members, you meet the regulators. It's a very, very different skill altogether, but it's a very, very vast field. As I said, that there can be IT related expert, there can be compliance related expert. So this is very vast.
Ashish, I think this is like a perfect question for you. So, just for the audience, Ashish also works very closely with startups. He's also an angel investor. So, one of our students has asked that, if in the mind of an entrepreneur, there's always a question that how much risk should I take and how can I overcome that risk? So, how do you kind of assess the risk factor when you're an entrepreneur, and what precautions or what steps should they have in mind while taking up an entrepreneurial venture?
Yeah. So it's a great question, and let me tell you, when I interact with a lot of people, startup community, as well as people who have, matured their startups. As I said, that I've worked with Oyo, Zomato, a lot of other, startup, well-known startups. You know, there is a value system which, thankfully, because of the Indian genes, which we all have, right? unfortunately, when we are tuned to make money, we lose all every composure sometimes.
I'm sorry, Ashish, I'll
That
have to
okay,
ask
we
you to
have to
repeat
make money
because,
at any cost. Please
sorry,
believe this. I
hello, I'll have
Yeah,
to ask you to
yeah,
repeat
yeah.
because your voice was breaking.
I think my internet is not stable. So shall I put my video off? You can still be able to hear me.
Sure, sure. If that works better, yeah.
Probably, I think so. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I said that when people try to make money at all cost, they do not realize that what is the all cost means. I am telling another example. One of my client is you know highly educated. He was studying in US. He started working in one of the stockbroking firm, doing great in from the careers point of view. Then what happened? Then one day one bad call which he took just to make money, right? And there are various laws in the country, different states have different laws. He was behind the bars for 3 years, and he was behind the bar at the age of 30. Just imagine the kind of trauma which this gentleman may have faced and his family may have faced. We do not realize that the kind of risk, if they are not managed, it can frankly it can ruin the life. I have seen people who are going to jail. They are 50-year-old, 60-year-old. None of us would like to be in a situation where we may face similar incident. Number one. Number two, a lot of people, it is very important to have a reputation. you know you cannot compromise a lot of times with the reputation which you carry just because of some small benefits. So again, bringing back to the question, when you are running a business, you should think that, is it as per the law of land? So I am running a business in India. Am I compliant in India as per Indian laws? If I'm running a business in Singapore or in Europe, am I compliant? And please have right set of advisors. If you do not have right set of advisors, it can be a game changer, let me tell you. I'm not sure how many of you are aware about Mahabharat, but in Mahabharat, Pandavas had one consultant, and it was Krishna, and Kauravas were having one consultant, which was their uncle. I'm forgetting the name of the uncle, but I'm sure everybody can relate. Mr. Shakuni. Huh? So your advisors are very, very important in your life. It can help you to multiply your career, or it can help you to divide the career, right? So it is very important to manage the law. There are various ways and means, and why people talk about exploiting the loopholes of the law. You cannot go wrong as per the law, right? So that's one part. Another part is that a lot of people try and do some very innovative things in terms of, frankly speaking, spoiling the society. So it is very important to deliberate on ideas which are contributing to the needs of the society. A lot of people are trying to copy paste the business models which are working absolutely fine, which have turned people into wealthy people, but they are not good for the society. And as a I would say budding entrepreneur, and our next generation, my request is that please inculcate integrity and ethics. If somebody tells you that I can make you billionaire, but you need to do these things wrong, choose not to become a billionaire. I am telling you, as a principle in life, you will do wonders if you make right choices from the governance, risk, and compliance point of view. It may sound difficult path, right? But please choose the difficult path. Do not fall trap, against the easy way of making money. It is very, 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 very important to realize that.
Sure, thank you so much. We'll request you to turn on your camera, please.
Yeah, sure.
So, I mean, very apt moment to ask the next question. One of the students has also asked, and we also wanted to know, what is your view about the new talk about direct market access for retail investors by SEBI? Do you think it would change the entire trading game?
Yeah. So again, very important question. But again, I look at this competition with a different lens. Why can't Indians think about creating a product or a solution which is a global product or a solution? Why we are worried about anybody who is investing money or FDI and things like that, right? I think we should think about spreading our wings global, at a global level. And that's the answer to the competition. If we try and think that okay, we will be protectionist, I think it is very difficult to survive. Probably we will survive for 10 years, 20 years, but not beyond that. The competition is very, very important. Think about a situation where you know NDIM says that I will have only 100 people. So just imagine a situation.
Yeah.
I think the competition is very important.
Mhm.
And that promotes creativity, that promotes innovation, that promotes to be best. Nobody would like to say, oh, I'm fine to have 25% marks. And I'm not saying that everybody need to score 90%, right?
Mm.
I think whatever you do, you may be great in the music, you may be great, and don't I would say, try and value everything in terms of money. There are lot of good things in life beyond money.
So, do you personally feel that this proposal talks about trading without brokers? I mean, even I could directly invest. Do you think it would work?
It should. Why not? Why not? Today the technology, just imagine, again, I will give you a very, very beautiful example. Um, we do not realize that we are being tracked for every second we have been tracked. Now how much you know TV you are watching, how much internet you are using, on which site you are going, everything is being tracked, right? Now, so why can't the trading can happen without brokers? A lot of people are worried because they are, that's the bread and butter for them. They have been doing in the broking business from ages. They are saying that, boss, what we will do? But my point is that why are they concerned about it? And frankly speaking, the pie is too big. When a lot of players entered in the market, and let me take the name as well. I try and resist taking the name. But when Reliance entered, in a lot of sectors, they swiped the floor. They said that possibly people were charging 2,000 rupees for a particular thing. I will charge 500 rupees. I'm talking about a cell phone. Imagine an era where somebody was charging 18 rupees for an incoming call. Possibly we could not afford to do such kind of a discussion 20 years back. But that's the reason such innovation is important. That's the reason the advancement is important. Even the stockbrokers, and again I'm not taking sides. That some people say that okay, you are saying this, you know you are promoting a particular political party, but I'm not taking sides here. I am just saying that try to be competitive. And again, my request to all of you is that Whether you are doing your own business or you are getting into a job, please innovate yourself. If we will not innovate our business or we are not enhancing our skills in the job, a lot of people are losing job. Why? Because they were redundant, right? Why they were redundant? Because they did not thought about creating a more value for themselves. So that's the reason, to answer your question, Professor Tina, it is very important to, innovate. It can happen. Technology can provide those platforms today.
Right. Thank you.
I guess, Ashish, that leads us to the next question. So I think a lot of our students want to know that how can MBA students get into risk management, and what kind of study material or what kind of books can you refer to them so that they can read up more about risk management? Because this is a field which a lot of them are interested in. So if you could just shed some light on that.
Yeah. So as I
And
said that there are institutes, which are providing these certifications. Once you graduate from the school or parallelly as well, you can opt for getting these certifications. These are very difficult certifications. The passing marks are almost 80%. So it's not, easy thing, but it's a globally recognized, degree, right? So once you take this degree, you can work in any country, right, in this profession. And frankly speaking, the domains, the fundamental remain the same. So, while, India may have different laws and regulations, but US, the fundamentals will remain the same.
but should they be having some finance background for it? Or I believe you've done, I think you've done a CA along with
Yeah.
your graduation. So is there anything specific that they should be looking at while they're doing their MBA?
No, not really. So, again, for large firms, I'm looking for civil engineer for one of the project. I'm looking for a mechanical engineer for one of the project. While the domain, can be very, very narrow for those civil engineers and mechanical engineers, but at the same time, it's not restricted to finance people. And a lot of time people think that auditing or in risk management, is domain of finance professional. But sorry, that's not true. Today, think about a company which is, for example, Reliance or Tata. They have hired hundreds of IT professionals who are managing the risk, right? And risk management is not an easy thing. Companies invest millions and billions of dollars to manage, their various functions.
Sure. So are there any, like, I know Grant Thornton comes to hire MBA students as well. They've been coming to us as well. So are there any specific skill sets that you look for when you're looking to hire MBA students?
Yeah. So communication skill is very, very important. Apart from the good communication, the personality, the grooming, because once you are on the floor, possibly you may be asked to go to CFO and, get certain answers. So you should be able to communicate properly and explain your point of view. Obviously, you will be allocated a lot of training, lot of content, so that you are unable to speak to the CFO or to the process owner or to CEO, right? But the trait is something which you need to have is good communication. Apart from good communication, your comprehending ability, right? And obviously there are a lot of course content on the technical side as well, that what are the jargons, lingos which are used, what are the control language, and what are the type of risk. All that technical stuff is also added, something which is very important.
Right. Stashish, so there's another question by one of our students, Aniket Mandal. He's saying that should we be taking calculated risk, and what if it fails? How do we safeguard ourselves against a decision gone bad?
I have not seen any businessman or any person decision, or the decision may not have gone wrong. Everybody will have its own share. But as you said, that calculated risk. So you need to calculate that if I will go wrong on this decision, what is the money or what is the thing which is at stake? Somebody, again, I recall that I was on a cruise in Singapore, and there was a restricted area. Clearly, it was mentioned that no photography is allowed, right? Just and let me tell you, that gentleman took a photograph there, and he was caught, and he was asked that, sorry, you did something which is not against the rules. And when somebody asked him that, boss, everything is written here in English, are you illiterate or what? He said that I could not control my feelings. I wanted to take the picture. I wanted to, I'm good in taking pictures, and that's the reason. So sometimes in a, I would say, in a rush to take a decision, or trying to grab everything, at such an early age, maybe by 24, I should have a car, I should have a house, I should have an iPhone 11, 12. Don't rush. And let me tell you, it is important to fail. I possibly failed 100 times, but I'm still not Einstein, but you know, I failed a lot of times. In job interviews, I failed in, running a business, but it doesn't matter. Every experience is important. Every experience will make you better. The only thing is you should move on. You should move on, because when I say fail means that, oh, you decided, okay, I will not do anything else. And I've seen so many people. The spark, let me tell you, while I can't see, all of you, the spark which you have for learning, I do not see that spark in people who have spent 10 years, 20 years in the companies. They become just robots, right? So
Right.
please take calculated risks. Please, don't fear from failures. You may fail, and it is important to fail, right? Every failure has a cost. You should be able to afford that cost. Please calculate risk in that manner.
Okay.
Okay, if I'm investing, let's say, in a particular stock, I have, for example, 50,000 rupees. Shall I invest all 50,000 in stocks? Probably not, because if I will lose all the money, then I am zero, right? So that's the way you should think, and it is important to take calculated risk.
Okay. And since you're an expert on enterprise risk management,
Mhm.
and are there any parameters which differentiate ERM and individual risk as managers?
Yeah. There is a lot of difference, and there are global frameworks which defines, these broadly these things. So, as per again Companies Act, Indian Companies Act. Since why I'm again and again saying Indian Companies Act, because I work in different countries as well. So, as per Indian Companies Act, there are laws which says that the board of directors need to monitor the top 10 or the top risks which are there in the company. So, for example, just to give you an example, can a company afford not to have a cybersecurity policy in these times? Answer is very commonsensical. No, they have to have a cybersecurity, thing in place. Can the company afford to, you know, have not optimize the cost in these times? A lot of companies are, exiting the lease contracts. They are saying that we were having 1 lakh, square feet area, but now we do not need 5 floors, because we have allowed work from home. Why should we bear the rental cost? So, they need to optimize. You do not have a choice. The companies which are not thinking about it, they will miss the bus, and they will suffer huge losses. And that's the reason the role of consultants like us comes into the picture. We save a lot of money, and we help companies to save their reputation. I was working for Domino's, and we said that you do not have a media policy. So Domino's said that, why do we need a media policy? I don't think so. We are a simple company. We are just delivering pizzas and people pay us, on cash. We do not have debtors. We do not require a media policy. But then we deliberated in a larger group and we said that, just imagine a situation where, you are serving a non-veg pizza to a vegetarian guy. He may sue you. Or alternatively, there can be a foreign particle which may be in the pizza. It can be a lizard or some other particle, right? And it can be a big, repetition loss. Now, who will respond to media? Whether that store manager will respond to media or your corporate person will respond to media. If you say that corporate person, within corporate person, who will respond? Whether the CEO will be responsible or a CFO will be responsible, and it's a different ball game. A finance person cannot do a techie job. A tech person cannot do a finance job. So we require a different skill who understand media, right? And they created a policy. After 2 years, they hit that, incident. They had, bad media publicity because of some certain incidences. They adopted that policy, and the CEO, ex-CEO now, Mr. Ajay Kaul, he called me and said that, Ashish, because of that work which we did 2 years back, we were saved. Otherwise, it could have been a blunder. Right?
Right. Wonderful. One last question from me, then Professor Bhumika can take over. How
Sure.
the landscape has evolved post-COVID for Big Four and Big Five consulting companies in India?
Yeah. So I think, Professor Tina, I would say that it's a very dynamic, situation at this point in time. As I said that we are also managing our risk. Huh? A lot of clients are going bankrupt, right? It is not an easy time. I work with hotels. They have zero revenue. They do not have. I work with restaurants. I would not name the restaurant here, otherwise the kids can get excited about it. But just imagine, a company do not have a revenue from last 5 months. How they will survive their salary cost or rental cost, and obviously consultant cost. We also charge money from them. So it is not a easy, clearly not an easy time.
But definitely a time for innovation at your end. I mean, all
So
of you would be.
from the innovation
Yeah.
point of view, the clients which were denying to allow us work from home earlier, and they were taking good amount of time in terms of sharing data, that is happening smoothly. I thank technology companies, because of which we are able to work and maintain our sanity. Otherwise, it would have been very difficult.
Professor Bhumika?
So Ashish, we would like to know that you handle such big accounts, such big companies. I know you don't want to name any, which is perfectly fine. But how do you, stay focused and stay calm and composed, especially I would say during the lockdown when you said last 5 months, the businesses have virtually collapsed. There is no income coming in from a lot of companies. How do you ensure that you guys are giving your best consultancy, and at the same time I'm sure you have internal pressures to perform? How do you guys stay calm, composed and focused? So if you could just share your three mantras which kind of work for you.
Yeah. So again, I will not say yoga. I do not perform any yoga. So, and but I stay connected with Almighty, and the way to stay connected with Almighty is that irrespective of your religion, I'm sure the students belongs to different community, the religion, but please practice your religion. I'm sure all of us have heard about Bible, Quran, Bhagavad Gita. I will encourage you to read. Please read, and practice. It is very, very important, to stay connected. we all read hundreds of books in our tenure of as a student, and I belong to a lifelong student community, so I still read a lot. Um, that one book reading changed and transformed my life, and I still practice. I attend a lot of session at the temple. I do service at the temple on the weekends. Because of the corona, obviously it is difficult, but in whichever manner I can contribute in the temple, I do that. And I thank to our preachers, spiritual preachers, because I believe that you know our schools, business schools, provide a lot of education, how to be a good, let's say, entrepreneur, or to be a good, let's say, performer in the corporate world. But frankly speaking, it is very, very critical to inculcate the human values. A lot of time in a process of career building, we lose the focus on character building. So and in the last 4 months, I have received so many distressed calls that our pay cut was 40%. We are not getting salary, our company is shutting down. And I reached out to my preacher and I said that, can we do some program about these people? And we are trying to engage them in whichever manner. But let me tell you, this is not easy to digest for a lot of people on the call, because we believe that, oh, let's make party, let's have fun, and and but it is very important to inculcate these value system. And it is not a retirement course. Let me tell you that, okay, we will read it once we reach to 50 years, 60 years. I will encourage all of you. I sponsor almost 200 to 400 Bhagavad Gitas every year. If any of you sponsor that copy for you, no cost, no hidden cost, no actual cost, please reach out to me, and I'm happy to do whatever service I can.
That's excellent. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Professor Bhumika.
So Ashish, thank you so much on behalf of all our students, our faculty, our staff. That was a really informative session. And I must say that you laid it down in layman language, because I think most of us did not know too much about risk management. And I think you took your time to explain every little detail. Thank you for answering so many questions. And I will take this liberty, because I know Ashish works with a lot of student communities, and he's also been an angel investor. And I'm going to take this liberty to invite him to be our corporate mentor also for our students. And he promised me that he's going to agree to that. So all our students who are interested in risk management and who want to take them up as a career will get an opportunity to speak to Mr. Ashish and connect with him, and can take his personal guidance and mentorship. I Ashish.
Thank you so much.
And Ashish, can I just take half a minute? I'm VM Bansal. I'm the chairman at the NDIM.
Yes,
and
Dr. Bansal.
No, it has been a really, very interesting and very knowledgeable session. And I just want to tell you, perhaps, some of our people on the panel didn't know, we are introducing a program on risk management already, because for the last 4 months, for the last 4 months, we have been getting this input. We are in touch with some UK partners. I'm also in touch with the Home Ministry, who run this disaster management programs.
Wow.
So I thought that in the coming days, every manager and every CEO, they need to also know how to really take care of their infrastructure, how to take care of their IT infrastructure, how at least everybody from PM to the CEO should know what sudden disasters or sudden, interruptions or disruptions can happen in any of the things. So we are already deep into this, and we're going to have a module for all the students so that they can write on the CVs tomorrow that, yes, I know the basics of it. They may not be doing advanced, which they can do in the futures whenever they get into the good jobs, but we are going to introduce them to all these basic skills and basic requirements. And we would seek your input also on while finalizing the module.
Sure, Dr. Mansal. I'm happy to contribute in that.
Now, because this, I knew that this has to be an essential part of any MBA program. So we are going to be doing it.
Sure, sure.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. It's a pleasure. I thought I'll
Thank
just
you, Dr. Mansal.
tell you that we are doing, so we will need your help and support and guidance.
Absolutely, Dr. Mansal. I'm
Thank you
there to
so
help.
very much. Thank you. Thank you. You take over, Bhumika.
Yeah. So I'll just formally thank you once again, Ashish. It was a
Thank
pleasure
you.
having you here. And we'll also trouble you, like I said, for a couple more things. We'll ask you to come in for our second year students as well, because a
Sure.
lot of them have taken up these specializations and they'll be very, very intrigued to learn from you. Thank you once again. It was
My pleasure.
a great pleasure having you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Look forward for meeting everyone personally in your auditorium.
For sure, for sure. We are all hopeful.
Sure.
Thank you.
Take care.
You too, stay safe.
Thanks.
Thank you.